what to wear and what not to wear on cruise, formal, or gala nights always generates an interesting discussion. Well, on a recent cruise, it turns out that we were called out for being underdressed on the dressy night. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now, what happened on cruise, formal, or dressy night? Well, we were recently on a Holland America cruise, and as I usually do, I posted some pictures of what we wore on what was called gala night or dressy dress code. And the truth is, we really got called out. It did surprise me for what we wore or didn't wear during this evening. Now, I do have to be honest, all of this calling out happened on social media. It didn't actually happen on the cruise ship, where people were actually very, very nice. But I am going to share with you in this video what was said on social media. I'd like to hear your opinion of it. Were we really dressed so badly? I didn't think so, but perhaps I was wrong on this. And at the same time, these posts that I shared on Facebook and on Instagram and even on YouTube on the community tab itself really did generate a lot of discussion, a lot of questions that people had, and really a lot of good feedback about how other people feel about these formal or dressy nights. And I did think it would be a good time to discuss this. Now, as always, before I get started, I did want to mention that if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give this video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let's get started. So firstly, what is formal night on a cruise? Well, on most cruises, you have at least one formal, or sometimes it is called chic, dressy, or gala evening. And basically, these are evenings where people dress up a little bit more than on casual or smart casual night. Now, in the past, I would say pre-2019 or so, formal nights were more of a thing than they are since the pandemic. Now, I didn't make the rules, but it really does seem like that is actually happening. And many cruise lines have either officially or unofficially just accepted that people are dressing a little bit less formally as they were in the past. Now, of course, this does vary by cruise line, but we were on a Holland America cruise, and on our Holland America cruise, the formal night is now called gala night, but the dress code is called dressy. Now, when I shared the photo of myself, my husband Frank, and my son Ethan, I got a lot of really nice feedback, but I also got some really negative feedback. Now, I can handle it. I put myself on the internet, so I understand, but I was a little bit surprised. And I got some comments, including why my son didn't have a jacket on, which, by the way, he decided to wear his dress pants and his dress shirt. He did have his suit jacket in the cabin, but it was quite warm that evening. We were on really a Caribbean type cruise. It was Panama Canal, and he just decided not to wear it. Now, other comments included that his pants were too short. Now, this is a little bit of a style, and I think in particular for younger men, which does bring me to a point that I made to some of the people, well, a few of the people that had some of those kind of comments, which I did think were actually quite rude. But my comment had to do with the fact that different generations and even different cultures have different ways of dressing that they actually do consider dressy. So I do think we always should leave some leeway about that and really kind of reserve passing that kind of judgment. Now, beyond my son and what he was wearing, some people commented on the fact that my husband was not wearing a tie. I have to admit, he didn't bring a tie with his suit. I don't think he's worn a tie with his suits on cruise ships for a few years, just by choice. And in my case, that I wasn't wearing a gown. So I was wearing what I thought was a pretty nice dress for a hot weather cruise, and I felt pretty comfortable in it, given the fact that the dress code on Holland America, and I am going to read it for you, is dressy. And according to Holland America's own information that they left in our stateroom, it says, when suggested attire is dressy, we take it up a notch and recommend slacks, skirts, dresses, blouses, collared shirts, and jackets. So that sounds to me like there really is a lot of leeway. And personally, I felt that we all looked dressed up in dressy attire. That being said, a lot of people dressed differently. Some people were in evening gowns and suits. There were a few people in tuxedos, and there were some people that were in dress pants and a shirt, and some people that were in what I would consider nice pants, so like a khaki and a collared shirt as well. Now, fun fact, the dress that I'm wearing now, which I guess is a knee-length dress or so, sort of a summer cocktail dress, I would say. Not very fancy though. That is what I wore to the second dressy night. And my husband wore his suit again, I think with just a different shirt. However, I didn't share that picture on social media, but I will share it here for you to see. Now, I'm not bringing this up just to cause drama. I am actually bringing it up because I know it is one of the most common questions and concerns that people have, especially if they're going on their first cruise or if they haven't cruised in a while. So some of the questions that came up when I shared this post was, well, are people still wearing evening gowns or is that just gone? And one person said they haven't cruised since 2018 or so, and they just weren't sure about packing. They've heard that people don't dress as formally as before, and they would like to still dress formally. So here are my thoughts on this. I think if you want to dress more formally, if you have an evening gown, you are going to look fabulous and you should definitely wear it. And if your husband or your partner has a suit or a tuxedo that they want to wear, you should definitely wear it. Take photos, even maybe professional photos on the cruise ship. They're so much cheaper than taking them on land. It is a great idea. You will not regret it. Now, other people said, I don't have a chance to dress up in regular life. Maybe I'm a teacher or I'm a nurse or I work in a job that's blue collar or just, well, how many of us really do dress up these days in our regular life? And it is a bit of a pleasure to be able to dress fancy on a cruise. By all means, you should do it. But there was another comment and somebody said, do I really have to participate in these formal nights? It causes me a lot of anxiety and I think I'd like to skip it altogether. Now to this I say, do not skip it. Please. Most cruise lines, not all, so it does vary by cruise line. If you are sailing, for instance, on Cunard, definitely follow the dress codes. That is one cruise line that is more traditional, and people do really appreciate following those traditions. But otherwise, by all means, dress up a little bit less. Wear what you're feeling comfortable with, within reason, of course. Now, that is something that was pointed out on the Holland America package that we got in our cabin, is things that are not allowed in the dining room or in those main restaurants. So not the casual restaurants, but basically is pool wear, distressed jeans. So, you know, that is something to keep in mind. But otherwise, if you're dressed nicely on most cruise lines these days, this is fine. Now, there was one question from somebody, and I think that she could probably use some advice. So she is debating on what to pack for an upcoming cruise. So I'll read you the question, and please, if you've sailed on this cruise line before, or if you have thoughts in general, then leave your answer below. But the question is, my husband and I are going on our first princess cruise in a couple of weeks. He does not have a suit, and we really don't want to buy one just for this cruise. Will he be okay with just a button-down dress shirt and dress pants? I've sailed on Carnival before and I've sailed on Royal Caribbean, but I just don't know if that is fancy enough for princess. Now, I know my thoughts and what I answered, and I saw some of the other comments as well, but I'd like to hear from you. Please let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, before I end this video, I did want to share with you something that I thought was really interesting that the maitre d' on our cruise had shared with us. And what he said was, a few years ago, there was a real formal night on Holland America and on other cruise lines, of course. But he said they decided to change the word to dressy. And he explained that in different cultures, people have different ways of dressing in what they consider dressy. And that is something that I think that we should all remember, in particular, different generations. But depending on where you live, I am from Canada, for instance, and a lot of people that answer in my comments might be from Canada or the United States. But I know if you are from Britain, you are probably dressing more smartly than I am. Now, our most recent cruise was on Holland America, but we do have an upcoming cruise. I will share more about it in an upcoming video, but our upcoming cruise is on Celebrity, which is Celebrity Evening Chic. So please let me know, should I be dressing up a little bit more fancy for that cruise? Should my sons, who are going to be coming with me, please let me know down in the comments below. And let me know, how do you feel about cruise formal nights? Please let me know down in the comments below. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Bye for now. Happy cruising.